Hello.
Hello.
I have a special guest with me tonight. And hello, Jinko. I see you. We won't talk about all the yard work we've been doing. We're having July here the last couple of days. We totally skipped spring and went straight to literally very, very, very warm. And I don't want to complain because I hate cold, and I want the summer. But it was too hot to do a lot of the things that we're trying to get done for summer. So that's been disappointing. So I'll just wait for everybody. We got, a half hour sooner than usual, but we have somewhere to be tonight. And I didn't want to cancel. I should say we have somewhere to be. We have some things to do tonight. And I didn't want to cancel my live again because I canceled it last weekend. So, but I will admit the topic tonight, when I picked it, I was feeling sorry for myself when I picked it, but I think it's still an important topic. So we'll still touch on a few things, but same here in Northern Lower Michigan. It's crazy. And then Monday, where we go back to, would you say spring? Maybe a little bit cooler?
Yeah.
One day it's going to be cooler, and then we're going to be in the 50s and 60s near the end of the week. But they're calling for rain all next weekend.
But it was what?
Rumors of snow again next week.
80?
Oh, no. Yeah. That's the thing. I know they said there's parts of Ontario here, there's parts there could be getting snow. We don't seem to. I looked at our long-range forecast. It's calling for rain. We're not going to get that cold again for snow. At least we better not. Yeah. But fruit trees are all budded out. I didn't notice ours. Did you know? I'll take a look at them tomorrow. I know my lilac trees are all budded. And there was a few other things. My rhubarb, but that comes up early anyway. Oh, there were 3 tulips in my yard, like ready to bloom. They're not just coming out of the ground. They're like literally ready to bloom. So it's just crazy. Just crazy. And it's nice because the bugs aren't out, but it's just too hot. It was like literally boiled my brain today outside trying to get things done. So I will say our week, Sunday was Easter, which is a great holiday. And we had a nice Easter. It was quiet and low key because we'd done our big dinner on the Friday before, because our son's 16th birthday was the day after, which started out great, And then Monday, I decided to, you're not late, Jean. We're just getting ready to talk about what's happening. I guess I'll wait a few more minutes. I was going to get into. I was just saying how when I picked this topic, I was feeling sorry for myself. But like David said, he goes, it's still an important thing to talk about. So I promise I'm not going to try and make it all doom and gloom, because I don't want to end my live all depressed and everything. So I'll make sure to end it on a positive note. But too early. Our last frost is May predicted May 7th. But I planned everything to make my last frost date May 14th. I gave myself an extra week. So I actually started a few more seeds this week. What did I start this week? Rosemary, some more herbs. Did I do anything else? Some more flowers, because I'm hoping to grow more flowers this year. So I'll give everybody a couple more minutes before we get into it. Oh, it's warm in here actually right now. I'm warm.
Staying power.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I think this happened last year, because I remember making a video about we skipped spring, and I remember it being really, but I don't think it was even.
Usually it's
we set records.
A day or something, but it's been days now.
Since last Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's been almost a week. Yeah.
And it's summer weather. It's fun summer.
It's confusing everything. I see. What's really been hurting my heart is we see people raking everywhere. And I'm just thinking, oh, those poor pollinators. We're going to get cold and you're raking them off. We don't touch anything on our lawn until after May long weekend, until after we plant everything. Because I want the pollinators, and I don't care about the lawn. I'd rather have food than lawn. So we don't do anything to it until then. We don't mow, nothing. And it's depressing to see everybody raking. Even our city sent out a thing asking people to do a no mow May and no raking, but I guess nobody paid attention to it. Almost all the snow went this week except where the Pope Hazard. Oh my gosh. We're still warm tomorrow. We're still supposed to be, I think, 80.
Yeah.
I think we're supposed to be close to 80. And we have been 80. It got up to 88, I think it was today. We've set records. And then Monday, we're supposed to be, I think it's, originally they said 43. Now they're saying 48. So that's a little better. We're still above freezing, which I'm okay with. And then as the days go on, we get into higher 50s, but then rain. We're supposed to get a lot of rain. We have no snow left.
Nope. Gone.
None.
Absolutely gone.
63 and raining now. Oh, it's says, according to this, my laptop says it's 73. I think it feels warmer than that.
Yeah.
But
here anyway.
Yeah, we should probably have turned the fan on, honestly. So just wacky, crazy weather. And I don't think it's going to change anytime. Where is she? The puppy wants her ball. She won't leave David alone till she gets it. We can't play right now, Lily. Here. You want to come up? You want to come up? Come up? Say hi? We had her outside with us for a bit today. She loved it until it got too hot and I had to bring her in. But David helped. David did most of it. We set up I don't know if you remember my video last year when I did my seed starting, I actually set up a greenhouse in the room and had all my seed starts in that last year. And this year, I actually have the greenhouse. We set it up outside. I'm going to start this week. I've been waiting for it to get cooler. Some lettuces and things out in the greenhouse and see how we do. And it's going to stay outside. We're not taking it apart again because I didn't keep the directions. So, hello, just doing our best. Thanks for dropping by. I promise it's not going to be all doom and gloom. I was feeling sorry for myself when I made this topic because it's been a rough week. So we'll start. On Sunday was Easter. It was wonderful. Monday morning, we started Aiden's birthday. Our son, he turned 16. Things were going great, and it was so beautiful. That's when it started being really nice, actually, on Monday, because we were outside without jackets. Yeah. And I said, you know what? It's going to be so hot this week, according to the weather. I'm cleaning the chicken coop now because it's going to smell. Because we do the deep litter method where we just put fresh shavings on top of the old shavings as the winter goes. So we went down and I gave it a heck of a clean. We cleaned everything. We cleaned inside. We cleaned outside. We got some straw. We finally found a farmer who could sell us some straw. And so we put that all around to help with the mud. And the chickens love it. Yeah, they scratch through it and fling it everywhere. And as you all know, we've lost 2 chickens since January. So I really look at the chickens, and we were looking at one of the chickens, and we noticed 2 of them had some dirty behinds. So I thought, well, it's warm enough. We're going to clean you up a bit. So David picked up one, and all the dirt and everything is like just on her feathers, actually down near her legs. So it wasn't going to impact anywhere she needed, so to speak. So we go look at the second one, and we're like, ooh, that looks like it might be blocked. Something's going on. So we bring her up, and all of a sudden David's like, she feels bloated. And then she kind of just looked at you and closing her eyes, and we're like, what's going on? And we look at her. She had a prolapse. She was pushing out her insides, and we tried to save her, but she was suffering so bad, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Just
she didn't have a long go.
Yeah, she was doing really bad. So David took mercy on her and helped her along. So that kind of stunk. So that's 3 chickens we've lost since January, and we have never lost a chicken before.
No.
And I will tell you, I will never get this breed again, this Arcana breed. I will never, ever get them again. They seem very fragile creatures. This is the second one. The first one that died in January, we have no idea how. No. She was just like literally laying on the coop. We thought she was sleeping, and she was gone. And this one was just awful. No, you're okay. We're just starting. So thank you for dropping in. I know, and it's the first time it's ever happened. I know it happens. I know it happens with pigs a lot, and I know it happens, but it's the first time it's happened for us. And we're like, really? And they haven't been eating enough calcium. They haven't been, because the eggshells have been awful. So I don't know if that was part of her problem or what, but finally the last 3 days worth of eggs are normal. Everyone's laying, everyone's so much better. They all look great. I know you're not supposed to put the eggshell in the feed, but I put some in their feed because they obviously weren't eating enough on their own to help them. So it happened to our duck. Oh, it's awful. Yeah. It's just awful. And I don't like to see an animal suffer. I hate it. So we're down to 5 chickens. We are getting, I can't remember if we ordered 4 or 5. We got Buff Orpingtons coming. I'm pretty excited about them. And honestly, if I see more somewhere, we might order some. We might get a few more, but we also have 10 meat birds coming. Yeah. Too. That actually comes next month. Yeah. So that's wow. Into May. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's our first time doing meat birds. So excited and nervous at the same time about that. So that was our Monday. And that's definitely one of the negatives. Sometimes you lose animals, and I immediately go to, gosh, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Is there something I could have done better? If we had noticed it sooner, could we have saved her? I just went right to, and thankfully I have good friends who are also homesteaders, and they're like, you can do everything right for some reason. Sometimes it happens. Oh, so I don't think I told you all about the second chicken. Unfortunately, a hawk got her. Yeah. That was awful. Not that did you? Yeah, you did. You found her. Yeah. So that wasn't great. So yeah. So we're down to 5 chickens. Like I said, we do have more coming, thank goodness. And I will never get Arcanas again. I will go back to Americanas if I want blue eggs. Yeah. I'm never, which we were supposed to get. That's what I ordered. That's not what we got. Yeah. And when they're chicks, how do you know? And it wasn't until they were, grown, and I'm looking at, I'm like, David, these are not Americanas. They're not. And of course we called them, and well, you can, I'm like, what are we going to do at this point? So anyway, we just didn't order from them again. Right. Hello, Darren. We are doing pretty good. So that was our Monday. I should back up and say was it Good Friday? Because Good Friday was beautiful. Yeah. Windy, but not as hot. We tore down the old garden. It's gone. Yep. And you will see that video actually tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I have it all set up. We tore it all down. And I will admit, I was very, I'm nervous because I have nowhere to plant right now. Oh, Jinko, I did say that I see that you said you bought. Wonderful. I actually have more. I'm doing all my herbs in them this year, and I'm planting strawberries in mine this year. So I love the Mr. Stacky pots. Absolutely love them. They did great for me last year. So I'm really excited to get some more. Get the ones I got, get them planted, more things in them. I love Buff Orbs. I had a flock of blue and black, so that was amazing. Ours are, I think they just called them Buff Orpingtons. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be. I wanted the lavender Buff Orpington, but they had none going to be available this year, she said. So, and I wanted. Yes, I was thinking that. I'm like, I was going to reach out to Chris and Steph to see if they had any Chanticleers that we could maybe grab from on the way home from the convention, from the conference there, because I know they're supposed to be a good breed. So I did plant bell peppers in my Mr. Stacker last year. I got some peppers. They weren't huge, but I absolutely ate them. We ate them. They were fine. They weren't as big as I had hoped they would get. That could be me. That could be my fault. But I did get some. They just weren't as big, but I absolutely did get some. So I haven't done cucumbers in them, so I'm not sure. I don't know. You definitely would have. I don't know if cucumbers would work. Try it and let me know if it does. I ordered 2. I haven't planted them yet. I just love them. They just help take up, and because of this new garden build, I'm kind of losing my herb garden, and instead of spending more money, because that's the negative thing I want to talk about, instead of spending more money on beds, I thought, well, why don't I have all these Mr. Stacker pots because I bought more at the end of the season. Why don't I just plant the herbs all in that this year for the most part? My chamomile and my calendula are still going to go into a raised bed. So yeah, so we tore all that down. And like I said, you'll see the video for that tomorrow, the old garden. And the enormity of it hit me this weekend. How much work this is going to be. Getting it ready is going to take the ground ready, is going to take the rest of this month. And then building it is going to take all of next month. And we lose a weekend because we go away for the Eastern Ontario Homesteaders Conference. And there's just two of us. It's just two of us for the most part doing it. And to rent one of those, what do you call that thing? It's a tractor, but we're talking about, is it a bucket loader? A little one?
Yeah, I'd probably get one in the backhoe.
Yeah, a backhoe. $250 an hour. Yeah. An hour! And we need it minimum. We would need it for a whole day.
Yeah.
And we'd work our butts off and make sure we only need it for a day. But I mean, still, 8 hours at $250 an hour, it's not happening. And I said, no. So we're literally, we're going to try and use the four-wheeler.
Yeah.
With the plow attachment a little bit for some of it. Hold on just a sec. Sorry, the dog is really driving us crazy here, crying. So yeah, the enormity just hit me. And like I said to David, it's really only 1.5 people because there's him and me. I'm half because I have a lot of physical limitations. So I can't do as much as I would love to do. So the enormity hit me of how much I wish we had like 5 people. So that's another negative. There's never enough time and there's never enough money when you're homesteading. And people will say, you don't need a lot of money homesteading, and you don't. But I'm tired of trying to make, I was happy with my old garden. This is David's fault because he's the one who came to me, but he said it's just not functional enough for you. He hated seeing me suffer trying to make it work because with my limitations, it was hard, but I managed to grow a lot in that old garden. But yeah, I love mine. I can't say enough about them. So I did have a bit of a panic attack, Jean. I'm not going to lie. And David kept saying, it's okay. It's going to be better. You're going to love it. I promise. I promise. I promise. And I'm like, oh boy. Oh my gosh, $250. Yeah, we was shocked. We thought, was there a daily rate or something that was $250, and we have to provide our own gasoline too. And however we get it, that's how much gas needs to be in it when we take it back. So it was very, very depressing to find out. And that's the other thing. So you do need some money, though. You do. And let's just be honest, you do. And wood is insane. Like I don't think David realized how much this was going to cost at first till we went and started pricing everything this week.
Yes. But
so I literally thought I was going to start crying at the lumberyard.
So you spend a little money and then it takes away from the effort you have to put in to the other one, with the weeding.
I know.
And the mowing and the weed whacking the grass and all that stuff that's all growing inside and around everything. It's impossible. It looks horrible, to be honest with you.
It did. I mean.
So, and this won't be like that. No weeding.
And what did you say? I said, I got to tell you, I said to David, I said, I'm going to make a confession to you. I'm a little scared. And what did you say? My fear.
What?
My fear motivates you.
Yeah, well, it motivates all of us.
He said my fear motivates him. And so that's been, thank God I already have almost all of the raised beds bought. Like that's already been paid for. The weed barrier we went with a really good, more like a rubberized cloth this year. I bought that all in the off season when it was cheaper. But the chain, like the fencing too. Whew, good Lord, that's expensive. And we got it on on sale yesterday. And we still don't know if we have enough. So it's crazy. I was just going to say, just doing our best to rent one of those little backhoes there. It's $250 for the whole day for 8 hours. That I would do in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
For $250, I would totally rent it. So I would rent a U-Haul moving truck. But I don't know if that's not, we need the, but, and here they're not $20 a day. I used to work actually for U-Haul, and it's not $20 a day to rent a truck here. No. You're looking at over $100 by the time you're done everything. So, sorry, just getting pop-ups. So I'm going to say one of the negatives is there's never enough time and there's never enough money. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's exhausting when it's just two of you. And we don't do this full time. I wish we could, but we are not financially able to. Like David, and this is where I feel guilty. He works all week, Monday through Friday, and then he's working all weekend around the yard helping me with stuff that I haven't been able to get to through the week. So that makes me feel bad because you work all week.
Yeah, but it isn't the same work. At the homestead, it's not the same work as going in and, trading time for money for someone else.
The other issue can be spending tons of time to build from scratch or save time, but spend money. Exactly. Either way.
You want to save time, you want to save effort in the future.
And that's the thing, like once this is done, we won't have that expense next year. And I keep telling myself, but at the same time, there's just so many things that need to be done. We have to build this thing for the meat birds. And and the meat birds are my fault. You could have said no when we ordered them. You were standing right there. I can see you on the screen. Oh, she thought we were talking about moving the wood. No, we're talking about like leveling out the dirt. And then, of course, we have the dirt cost. The dirt cost that we have to spend to fill these beds. And so, I just keep telling myself, Lynn, just think of what it's going to be like walking into that in June when things are all growing. And I hope so. Actually, and one of the people on Marketplace, we called him, and he wasn't any better than like the Home Depots or anywhere. No, he was the same amount of money. He wants you to come and get it, bring it back to him, all gas, all that. And like David said, what made him nervous is say what if he says, oh, you did something to it or something, right? Like that's, we have 20 acres, but the soil sucks. So it sucks here too because
a lot of sand. It's sandy, it's rocky, it's muddy.
It's sandy because the former owner trucked in sand for some reason. We have no idea why, and was using that to fill in everything. And he had the greenest, nicest lawn of anywhere in the world, and we did not have worms here in our dirt for 3 years. Like it took. This is our 9th year here, 8th year farming. Gardening stuff because I couldn't do it that first year because I was sick. So our 8th summer, and last year the worms. I would pick up dirt and there would be handfuls of worms. There are so many worms here now. I've worked so hard bringing the soil back, and I will say they say that you won't get worms in raised beds. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. Mine were full of them, absolutely full of them. So, I mean, I never thought to ask around to see, but see, this is the other hard part too, and this comes from the military mentality. We don't know how to ask for help.
Well,
and there's really no one to ask because we don't really know anyone. We've lived here forever, and yet we still don't know anybody. We don't have anyone we can call to ask for help, and that's just the way it's always been too. Yeah. I mean, I wish we had family around because we had family. We could knock this out in a weekend or 2 weekends, maybe. It's all clay here. Yeah.
Yeah. When you get down a certain depth, that's what it is here too.
Yeah, sand is cheaper. But he wonders why he couldn't grow anything.
Well, yeah.
Check with the local farmers markets. Oh, for I guess. I never thought. I mean, we have tons of farmers around us, but
sometimes you'll find things like fencing and stuff on our marketplace. And
I've gotten a lot of free fencing. I have been able to that.
Yeah,
and
did
we
find some
are
at the yard sale a while
Yep.
back.
and we were using that.
Yep.
And we are reusing some of the fencing
Yep.
from the old garden. Like, I mean, that's gonna like the
Oh,
old
yeah.
door
We're gonna
is going
repurpose
for
that,
the coop to separate the new layers with the old layers. We're gonna put another door on. So we are all sand around here. Thankfully, with all the snow melting, we don't have much mud. That's one good thing, because we were mud season here a little while, which we're going to be again too, because we're getting the rains coming back this week. Hopefully the straw in the pen there will help with the chickens. And then they got their dirt too in their pool with their dirt bath, and they were in it. I barely walked away and they were jumping in, taking their dirt baths. So yeah, so some of the negatives: animals die even when you do everything right. Animals die, and you need to be prepared for that. The first time I wasn't. The second time I was angry. The third time I was like really? I'm paranoid now. I'm going to look out there, and like, so I'm constantly checking on the chickens, because I'm like, oh, is another one of you going to die on me? So that's definitely negative. Money, though, you do need some money to do homesteading. And, I know a lot of people will disagree with me maybe, but you do need money.
Yeah, I mean,
infrastructure costs money.
Yes, you can use nature for a lot of it, but, not that you don't, at some point you don't care if it's aesthetically pleasing or something, but also you want it to look fairly decent. I mean, you don't want all rotted trees and everything, like making poles out of them and stuff like that. I don't anyway, because they don't last as long either. So this whole thing's supposed to be, it's going to last us several years at least. And,
until we hopefully
and if we have to replace anything, hopefully it'll just be 2x4
here, 2x4 there. Yeah. And we're thinking too long term, like in a couple of years, if we hope to move, and I'm assuming who would ever move out here would want to do some gardening, because we are out in the country. I'm hoping they'll look at that and it'll be nice, and it'll be a selling feature, right? So, and I'm sorry, but yeah, there comes a time where at first I just wanted everything done. I didn't care what it looks like. But over time, when you can start taking the time, I do want things to start looking nicer. I'm tired of everything looking like we dug everything out of the junk pile, because we did. Our coop finally got painted last summer after so many years. And it looks so much better. But that was almost the majority of that was built from wood we had around here.
Yeah.
That was left here. There was a few pieces you bought new.
That together. It's not overly aesthetically pleasing, but it does the job.
It does the job. So, and that doesn't bother me. The chickens don't care. No. So, and it works. I do wish the roof was not slanted.
Maybe, but it doesn't leak, and it works. So we
usually at the end of the year, I let my chickens go wild and everything. Yeah, we thought about doing it.
Out again today on the property. I might do it tomorrow though.
Bringing them, but I want them to come up here so they could spread. But I'm paranoid about the hawks now, though.
Yeah, we got a lot of predators around here, and we got a lot of pests around here. So
neighbors with dogs running loose.
Maybe not so many snakes anymore. We're kind of overrun with other things.
Voles.
So voles and mice and stuff. So
stinking voles.
So I haven't, honestly, God, I haven't seen a lot of snakes. Only one or two last summer.
Yeah, see, like Darren's saying, dozens. Yeah, you can save money, but sometimes it just means more work and money later. Right, exactly. And that's what we're finding, because what you built me a few years ago was not exactly cheap.
No.
Like that, the wire, it wasn't cheap. I mean, this is definitely more expensive because, the world's gone crazy, and a 2x4 is $6 now.
I won't hear, screams coming from the house because some toad or frog scared her.
The toad or frog doesn't bother me. It's the snakes.
Bloody murder.
Because I think it's a snake.
Jump.
At first, I think it's a snake when it moves. That's why. Once I realize it's a frog or toad, I talk to him and I'm fine.
It won't happen now this time. So.
Yeah, we have coyotes.
Yep.
We hear them almost every night. And I think that's why we're one of the few left around here with chickens. Because so many people let them free range. And I get it. In an ideal situation, I wish we had. But I mean, I've shown you all in the videos before, and I'll show you an update. Our chickens have a huge run. They really do. They have a huge run. Now, granted, it's not as big as the yard, but at least they're not getting killed. The people in back of us, they let their chickens be free range all the time, and they don't have a chicken left. Not a chicken left. And I think the coyotes picked them all off this year.
Yeah, other things too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we have raccoons, but we haven't seen one in a while. Knock on wood. We better knock on wood. So what did you end up doing with the puppy? Oh, the kids are by okay. So what are some of the other negatives?
Weather is unpredictable at best, especially around here. We seem to be in some little pocket. So sometimes the bad weather goes past us, and other times it hits us right on the head. And
other times we prepare, like holy cows, and then nothing happens.
And I have to tell you, the wind around this spot is absolutely insane.
Nuts.
And it doesn't start till you go outside. And when you go outside and try to do something, all of a sudden,
when
you got a hurricane going through your yard.
Screw free ranging. Ours are now got to get a bigger pen made. They got in the greenhouse today. Yeah, I just, like I said, our chickens have a big pen. Like people remark about it. They'll say, wow, your chickens. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to free range, but I want them to have enough room to. And they've got stumps in there. They've got David's old sawhorses. We made them a swing out of a big rope. They've got the pools. They've got so many things. I hang things, big things of lettuce, herbs, things that they peck at. Like I make sure I keep them entertained too, so they don't, take it out on each other. Sylvie, it's okay. I usually am 7:30, but at roughly 8:00, I have to leave. We have to be gone. So that's kind of why I started a little bit earlier, which is probably not fair to everybody. I really need to stick to a time. But yeah, so weather's unpredictable. The wind here is insane.
I think
it's crazy.
I think one of the biggest things is not almost every single time we do something, it takes a lot longer
than we think.
We thought it was gonna. So this should only take half hour, and 3 hours later you're halfway done, and you're like, oh my God, what happened? So, and it's kind of like renovating your house. So if you dare open your wall up, now you see all the other problems in there. So before you fix this little spot you were gonna fix, now you got to fix the wiring, or now you got to fix the insulation, or there's a rotted board, or you open a whole can of worms. And the same thing going outside the building thing. Oh, the ground's not level.
Yeah, we
didn't plan for that, so now I gotta level the ground, and that takes all the time up I thought it was going to take building. And the same thing's going to happen with this one, but I'm going to get it done if I have. It kills me, and it might. So
no,
if the wife is the only one on here next time, then you'll know why.
It's not going to kill you. I won't let you go that far. If I have to, I'll just use my raised beds and not have anything around them. But yeah, I wish we had more kids. I wish we had more children.
So I got a bunch more kids that don't want to do anything. Yeah, no.
Our kids are special. I mean, Grace has her, and Aiden, but Aiden does help when.
If we tell our kids to do something,
come out, they
will do it.
They do. It's just we have to tell them.
But yeah,
that's the problem.
They have to be told, and they won't come seek us out saying, "Do you need help?" That does not happen.
Yes, dear. And then if I take video, it takes twice as long because I'll tell David, wait, I gotta set the ankle up, and he's standing there like, okay.
So yeah.
So that takes longer. It's like somebody was saying, doing vlogs every day, and I'm like, I can't do a daily vlog. My life is not that exciting. You don't want to see like everything all day, and I'm busy. I can't film everything because it will take twice as long, and I'll never get anything done.
That's the problem. So everything's a video, and when you've done something, you're like, geez, should I video that? I should have. We got it. Okay, back it up. Let's redo it. Take things apart. Let's go
I've never done that, but I did stop the thing. I'm like, should we film putting the greenhouse all together? I'm like, no. People know what a greenhouse looks like. I'll show you all when I start some seeds in there.
That's
when I'm going to start.
Anyway, you didn't want to see two people. Does that fit in there? Does that fit in there?
And I would have had to bleep everything with music.
Yeah.
So.
I did pretty good. I didn't swear a whole lot.
No, you didn't. Yeah. You did pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, so.
Because it was too hot and my brain was boiling. I couldn't think.
Oh, it was just so hot, and that's when I start getting whiny and and feeling sorry for myself because I was hot.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't think. And I'm like, nothing's ever going to get done. We were planning on it being a lot cooler this weekend to get more done. So, yeah. Well, I mean, our kids too have, I hate saying issues.
Kids
what do you
work
call it?
extremely hard
At not working. Regardless of what they have for issues.
Channel that effort of not working into working.
Because Aiden, if you give him a list and say this needs to get done, he gets it done, and he literally will not stop till he gets it done because he can't. He can't
needs direction, though.
settle. He can't like relax till he gets it done. But you have to, Aiden. You need to do A, B, C. Yeah. So once he's doing great. Grace, I have to tell her 15 million times the same thing because she forgets walking out of the room.
Yeah.
So. Oh, I think your English is fine. My English isn't perfect. It's my first language.
English, yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you. We've been married forever. So,
yeah,
30 years this year. We still have that we're trying to plan.
Yeah. So that's throw it on the top.
And a 5-day vacation down east.
Yeah.
I say 5 days, like 5 days visiting, 2 days traveling. We're trying to get back down east. We haven't been home in a very long time, and we need to. Again, that leaves a lot. That's another negative.
Yeah, so
that's another negative. It's hard to
spend the whole vacation worrying about what's going on back here.
Back here, it's hard to leave. Yeah. Because I'm hoping we can find somebody. I'm hoping.
Yeah. So this is another reason why, and this is, it's more difficult when you have more things to take care of that are dependent on you. So if you have like a bigger garden with a whole bunch of different things, and they have a whole bunch of different needs, or you have a bunch of different animals, they also have a whole bunch of different.
And I know it all. I know what they,
finding somebody to come in here and deal with that, it can be difficult for sure.
Yep. And then that's the other thing. David's adding a sprinkler system to my garden this year because watching me garden 3 hours a night last summer, I think got to you. I was exhausted. Like I'm like, I can't water anymore.
Yeah, and dragging the hose around the yard is insane.
That's one good positive that happened this week.
Yes.
We had the plumber come and he gave us an estimate. We're getting a new outdoor tap put into the front of the house so we don't have to drag everything around from the back. Yeah. And it was much more reasonable. It was like, it's under $300. And we're like, oh. So we booked him May 8th. When we come back from the conference, the Homesteaders conference, he's coming Monday. He said he can get it done in like 2 hours.
Yes. So
most of that's labor, by the way. I keep trying to tell Aiden he needs to be a plumber or an electrician, but he doesn't have any interest in it. Darren said they could get our 3 boys to pitch in. We'd be laughing. Yeah. I know. It just, Aiden's probably going to have to help us with some of the garden. Yes. There's just no getting around it. So he's also 6 foot. Sometimes we need the height to help us with certain things. So, but yeah, not being able to leave, that's definitely a negative, especially when we're leaving because it's so hot. I know all chicken, you have to, because they won't drink warm water. So you have to constantly go out and take colder water to them. And especially these breeds that we have, these Arcanas, they are susceptible to heat stroke. Yeah. In the heat, like our first summer with them, we had 2 we had to save, had to bring them in the house, cool them down, give them electrolytes. So that makes me nervous leaving them because if the person we get, they don't live they like maybe a 5-minute drive.
Yeah. They're not far.
They're not far, but at the same time, he's a teenager who doesn't have his license yet. So he won't probably be able to come throughout the day.
That's why most of it should be taken care of.
Door. We're putting an automatic door on the coop.
Big enough to have
a big feeder.
Good for days. Same with the watering. We'll make sure they have watering system.
Thank you, Jean. She's getting more comfortable. She definitely likes being on. She's actually kind of a ham.
Yeah.
In a way, sometimes she is. It's just it depends on what it is. But Aiden's a ham. If you only seen some of the stuff I edit out. That I'll go to edit and all of a sudden there's Aiden's face, making a face or he's going, doing a peace sign and I'm like, seriously, Aiden Kent. So I kept one of them in. I told him. And then when he did those little things for me, if you like this video, like he's such a ham. Yeah. So,
no.
Oh no.
Hopefully she's doing.
Yes, prayers, absolutely. We were praying for your mother-in-law and hope that God, touches her and makes sure she's okay. Yes, make sure you don't hurt yourselves getting to her.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but so any other negatives? I don't want to make it like I said, all doom and gloom.
There's lots of little stuff.
I'm going to end this with positive.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to end it with the positives, but yeah. So being able to go away, that's definitely.
It can be a bit unpredictable. A lot of them. That's one of the big things. So, but that's the same as anything.
Yeah. And I've been guilty of this. And I'm the one who tells people not to do it. And then I get guilty of it watching other homesteading videos and feeling like poo that, I'm not on their level and I'm not doing this. And they make it look so easy. And why is it so hard for us? And that's my fault. And I even tell people like, don't do that. And then I end up doing it. Human nature. It's like those home improvement shows.
Yeah.
They renovate a whole house in an episode, or two. A whole team of people doing that.
Yeah, and it's not an hour.
And money. So yeah, I just that envy can be a very big negative. I mean, it's it's one of the reasons why it's on the 7 deadly sins.
I think this is a negative that's happened in the past. It's one of the reasons why the garden center that I want to make is the way I want to make it. I have done patchwork and I have done quick fixes in the past. These things that were supposed to be temporary end up lasting a lot longer than that. Okay, and that ends up being a problem. So I don't like doing that anymore. I don't throw Band-Aids on stuff anymore. I want something that's going to function the way it should, and you're not gonna have to do anything to it for a while. So that's what I want her to walk out into it and there's no problems right out the gate. Oh geez, I gotta do this before I have to do that. No, you don't. Now you just walk in and grab your stuff.
Have my little bench in there, take my tea.
That's what it's gonna be, yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
Oh yeah, and there's another one. So the vision in your head about something you're gonna do may change.
The garden thing's changed what, 4
when
times?
The physical thing goes up. It may not look exactly like you planned it in your head.
And you're the one, you are the one who went with all this. And I'm like, this looks pretty elaborate.
But it's for me too. It's not just for her. It's for me too, because it is a lot of work going out there and having to rip, 10-inch blades of grass out from around everything because you can't see anything in there.
I don't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Bash. I don't even know if I want to say bash, but you all know what I mean. Another channel, but yeah. I said today, I'm going to be honest. I said, Dave, it must be nice to have a company build your dream garden for you. And I'm jealous. I'll admit it. I am. And I wish I had that kind of money to do it. Because I say all the time, even if we were well off, I hate to say that, we are well off. We are rich in a lot of ways, just not dollars. But anyway, if we won the lottery tonight, I would still homestead.
Yeah.
It just would be, somebody would be doing this garden for us.
And
I'm going to admit it.
Yeah.
I'm going to admit it. Yeah, I mean, and she has it, right? I mean, they're not hurting. They are wealthy. Even if I had it, I could spend it on my garden in my house. Absolutely. I couldn't spend it on like an $800 purse. That will never be me if I had that kind of money. I don't, that's just not me. But I would definitely spend it on infrastructure, on my homesteading, my garden. You'd have all the toys, for gardening. The chickens would have the Mac Daddy of all coops. Wait, that's what I would still homestead. I would. It's just, we would still do a lot of things ourselves. I wouldn't pay a gardener. No, that's my thing. I love gardening. I might maybe ask for a little more help with some things, but everything changes. Add the sad roof. So we knocked out 2 support posts to make more room for gardens. I know everything. As I said, I I changed just yesterday. I'm like, okay, we're not going to worry about a bed for the herb garden, so we can make the structure a little smaller, so we're not spending $2,000 on 2x4s. So I'm like, wait, I got my stacking pots. Duh, that's what I'm going to do my herbs in.
So I didn't say this. I'm kind of regretting saying it out loud now, but I didn't say anything like, I'm building this so it has an option of getting bigger. Oh, I didn't say that, because if I say that, then that's the option that's going to happen. So it's going to extend and get bigger. So the garden is going to get huge.
I mean, I think it's because I'm still trying to figure out how much I need to grow for us. Like,
but the honest to God, it's just me and her that eats most of it.
Most of it. It is.
Kids
just
don't eat it. So we got jars and jars.
We have so many jars of like apple butters, and everyone, like, I think part of the problem is all of it's kept in our store. Yeah. It's not out where people see it. So that's one of the reasons it's not being ate. So I'm trying to put more jars in the fridge so people see, like, you love the dandelion jelly.
But yeah, so
you've been loving that.
But that's why, I mean, we don't need 800 tomato plants.
No, and I didn't plant 800 tomato plants this year. I didn't. I planted a lot, but my plan is to sell them. I planted some for me, but my plan is to sell them, because I still have a ton of canned tomato sauce. Tons of it. So I'm only going to add a small amount to it this year. I'm actually going to dehydrate a lot of tomatoes this year. That's my plan. But I've scaled back a lot with the garden. I don't have 220 pepper plants this year. Nowhere near that. Again, I plan on selling some of them, because my plan this year was to make sure the pepper plants I grow were healthy and huge, so I get just as many peppers off of one plant as I was getting off of like 10. So we'll see if that works. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm trying. Knock on wood, they're looking beautiful right now, my pepper plants. Tomatoes are looking good. The new plants
we had in the past, the peppers would sit on the ground.
Yeah.
They get so big, they sit on the ground. So, and not sure how you deal with that, because they say to put straw and hay in and things like that.
But then that gets wet.
But yeah, but they're not tall. So when
that's my problem. My pepper plants don't get tall, and they should. They should get taller than they are.
So I'm not sure how that.
I think it's soil. I think it's the soil we were using, and I will say the soil we got last year, we're not buying from the same people. I don't know what it was, and it was organic soil I bought.
Yeah.
And everything we grew in it, nothing
again
grew.
So that's the expense again. So if you want
now I gotta buy more soil,
you have to spend a little more
and
money.
I didn't think I was going to have to buy soil this year for my garden beds. I really didn't, and now we have to. So that's kind of tomato cages for the peppers. I thought of it, I'm going to be honest, I don't like the tomato cages for the tomatoes. They just never seem to work for me. They topple over.
Yeah. Get some kind of a better
but last year we didn't have that problem with the peppers. None of them got onto the ground. None of them did. So you also can pick green peppers and let them change color in the house too, which is what I end up doing. So can you pinch off? Yeah, I know you're supposed to. I'm nervous. I keep watching videos. I know I have to do that. I keep watching videos on what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to pinch them off. But it seems like whenever I do it, my pepper plants die. Like, I don't think I do it right. So, because I got a ton of them. We've got like 20 tomato cages, something like that. I never thought about even trying them. So thank you, Jinko. Thank you, Thor. We will definitely, I'll save them this year for my pepper plants and try them. It makes sense. It would work better for the peppers. I thought I was planting determinate tomatoes. I always get this mixed up. And it turns out I planted indeterminate, where the ones you're supposed to pick off and everything so they don't go all bushy. I didn't mean to do that this year. So we would love to use cattle panels. Love to. How much are the cattle panels here, David?
The cattle panels are really expensive here. And
80 and up.
I'm not even sure if there's different kinds. So even if we did get them, is it the right kind? Are there different sizes?
Yeah. I know the ones we've been pricing, they're
the ones we saw, they were huge,
and they were so expensive.
Very expensive.
So expensive. We've got a roll of.
It's a fencing. It's a roll of heavy wire.
Heavy wire fencing they use for like cows or whatever. So we're turning them into arbors.
Yeah, and it works as an arc.
So we're turning those into arbors because I'm hoping to have the loofah grow over the raised beds. We're going to try. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm hoping. My loofah last year was a big failure. This year, so far, they're growing great inside, but man, they got to get outside soon. So we just have a few minutes left. So I'm going to end with the positives of homesteading. I love it. I love it. I would not, like I said, if we suddenly came into a lot of money, we would still homestead. That would not change for us, because what it does for us emotionally, I mean, physically, it does keep you in shape, even though we don't look like we're in the greatest shape. It does keep you in shape.
And there's nothing wrong with working outside.
Oh,
if you're
fresh air.
Then that's something. It's worth it.
Getting your hands in the dirt. I always say it's where I feel closest to God. I pray in my garden. I talk with God when I'm in my garden. I just sit and be. I'd say in the quiet, but it's not very quiet out here anymore.
Traffic, and it's never going to stop. So.
But I put my headphones on now and listen to like classical music or whatever. What's this? Grab the welded wire mesh for supporting concrete. It's 2x2 square, much cheaper. Is that what we have that we got at that yard sale? Is that what that is? 2x2 square.
No, the stuff we have is really big. So it's
okay.
It's like 8 inches.
We'll have to look for that. You want to write that down right there? Anywhere on those paper. Welded wire mesh used for the stuff they put in and then they pour the concrete, you mean? I think I know what he's talking about. It does, yeah. Let's see if we can find that. Yes, Jean, exactly. I know what's in my food. I know what's not in my food. More importantly, I know where it came from. It came from the 10 steps out front to the house. It didn't come on a truck or anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to brave the nut jobs in the store. We went to Walmart this morning. Oh, Lord, save us. David even said to the kids, pray for us. You reground. Yes, absolutely reground myself. Oh, he said actually might be 4x4.
Yeah.
I think I know. Yep. We're going to look for that. And I know we talk about it costs a lot of money, but you save money too. The amount of things I haven't had to buy all winter, the aisles we have not been down in the grocery stores for months it's really eye-opening, because I'm like, oh, we don't need to do that. I have it at home.
No, yeah.
I almost bought English muffins today, but the price of them was so ridiculous. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to have to put my big girl pants on and make some again, because I want some English muffins and I'm not paying that for them. Good Lord, they were too expensive. By the way, my honey used to be $10 a bottle. It was $16 I seen today. Gosh. Oh, anyway, that's another whole story. So I mean, in a way you do. I mean, I know we talk about a negative because you have to have money for the infrastructure, but the money I'm saving on the food and everything, that has been a big help this year, especially with the cost of food being what it is. I think it's another positive is the kids see, oh, wow. That's what it takes to get eggs. That's what it takes to get tomatoes. That's what it takes to, make a loaf of bread and get our, I think that's really opened their eyes. Aiden, especially, he's like, wow, it's really hard to grow food.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is. Oh my goodness. A homeless guy attacked the jewelry counters in our Walmart. We don't even have jewelry counters in our Walmarts anymore. They shut down at 4 p.m. last night and opened at 6 today. Mental illness.
It's everywhere.
They're not getting help worse, and they don't have the money. They're not putting the money into the budgets for it to help.
I mean, to be honest with you, if you're homeless, you're bound to go a little squirrely at some point. and it's just because of the environment you're in.
I mean, living on the street, not knowing when you're going to eat, someone's going to hurt you. I mean, that after a while, that's got to take a toll emotionally. But, for all the negatives, I mean, obviously there's a lot of negatives, but it must not be so bad or we wouldn't keep doing it.
Not even close. The negatives don't outweigh the positive at all. Like the positives are they outweigh the negative in a great way, in a positive way, in an amazing way. So even if they were even, it's still worth it because of what you get.
Yeah. What it does for me. He was upset because he couldn't get his prescription early and they jailed him. And they'll keep him, a couple of days maybe. Well, here in Canada, he wouldn't even be in anymore because our bail system is a joke here.
We used to, in my own town, we used to have people who would do it.
They would commit crimes in the fall, so they'd have a warm place to stay through the winter.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking. And okay. She says they have 7 churches in our Salvation Army that will take them, but they have to shower at least once a day, and they won't shower.
Well,
and that, I will say, that is a part of the issue they're having with some of the homeless in Kingston here. They can't get some of them to go into the shelters because they don't want to go by the rules of the shelter. Mm-hmm. And one of the rules is they're not allowed to use drugs in the shelter. Well, like the shelter person said, it's illegal. We can't allow you or they'll shut us down. So, but they are building a Homes for Heroes in Kingston. What did they say? 20 houses for homeless veterans. And the plan is eventually they get them out of those tiny homes and into their own. But to me, homeless veteran is ridiculous. There should be no such thing as a homeless veteran. But yeah, I mean, we're totally off topic, but it was just on the news and I just thought it was great that we're getting one so close to us. Because I can't remember what the stats are anymore. But I think at one point they said 40% of homeless people are veterans, which is just disgusting. I mean, nobody should be homeless, or unhoused, because apparently that's what we have to say.
If they have those little homeless sort of communities and they built little houses for them and everything, and they got them into growing their own stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that would help them in their mental state too. Things like that. I
mean, there's something about raising your own food. I hope I'm always excited. Like the whole street knows when they're like, oh, I got peppers, or oh, I got tomatoes. Like I hope I'm always excited to grow food. I really do. I hope I always am. There's just something about it. I love growing flowers too, because they give me the beauty and everything. But knowing I'm growing food that I'm feeding you guys with, even if the kids don't eat a lot of it, they eat some of it. But it's so amazing feeling. So that feeling is what I have to remind myself when I'm having these days where I'm feeling sorry for myself. I need to remember, Lynn, remember how you feel when you're picking those tomatoes, when you're picking those apples, when, I have to remind myself of that. And, I'm human. I'm going to have days where I'm down and feeling overwhelmed because it is overwhelming. Yeah. It very much is. But even just talking about it tonight, I'm feeling better. Like I'm already feeling more positive, and I know we're going to try and get at it early tomorrow morning before it gets too hot, because we know once lunchtime comes, we're not going to be able to do anything out there. It's too hot. So we're going to get what we can get done tomorrow, and that's it. And I'm going to try and not stress out, because that does not help at all, getting stressed out and overwhelmed. So, yeah, so I definitely say the positives outweigh the negative, and God bless you too, Sylvie. We'll see you later. I really hope that, more people are doing it. Yeah. That's for sure. Seems like we always. Oh, there's always somebody who's got to ruin it, right? They had a prison that started a garden and they sold produce to locals, and that was for 20 years. And then last year they caught a new batch of prisoners making booze. So they shut the program down. It's always got to be a few bad apples that spoil the bunch, right?
What they need? They're always needing people to pick produce and stuff like that. They need to get those people out there doing that.
As long as they're not in for violent crimes or anything.
For people to pick apples.
I know,
and stuff all the time here.
All the time. It's okay, Mary Lynn. We're going to be going because, like I said, we do. We actually got to get the chickens put in too. Isn't it lovely though? 8:00 and it's still bright out here. Like that is a good positive thing. So thank you all for coming in tonight and listening to me whine and cry. It helps me feel better. The other positive too is meeting the people I've met because I'm homesteading. That I never expected. I say that all the time, but I'm going to say it again. I never expected to make friends just from homesteading. I can't wait to see all those friends in just a few weeks. Can you guys believe it? It's so close. Like we are less than I think we're 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We're getting really close. So that's another positive. I really that's a huge positive that I've met friends and they don't think I'm crazy either because they like growing food and get excited about growing food. And I did go to Lowe's today and we went out to the outdoor garden and I literally just walked around. Just walked around. They don't have a lot, but what they did have and just seeing it, I could literally feel myself feeling better. So, and I bought myself some strawberry plants to plant in my stacker pot. So everyone have a great weekend. I forgot real quick. The collab is going great. The What Does $100 Buy collab is going fabulous. Everyone's videos have been so eye-opening. Everyone seems to be enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of feedback too from people saying, hey, we're finding this hashtag. So I hope all my participants are finding that too. Tomorrow, I believe it's Mary Lynn tomorrow morning. Let me look at my list. Little Homestead by the Beach. Is it tomorrow? No. Maybe. Are you tomorrow, Mary Lynn, or the 16th? Which is tomorrow. I can't remember. But yeah, so check out that. It's hashtag What Does 100 Buy? Not the dollar sign, because if we put the dollar sign in, it was a broken hashtag and it took you to how to save money on the stock market or some kind of crazy thing. So yes, it's Mary Lynn tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Check her video tomorrow for What Does $100 Buy? It has been eye-opening to see, wow, some of the prices people pay and some of the deals people get in different parts of the States and Canada. So, and I have a video tomorrow, tearing down the old garden, everything I've been crying and whining about, that airs tomorrow at 8. So until then, there it is. There it is. What does $100 buy? Have a great weekend, everyone. God bless. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.